Seems almost like off, doesn't it? It's weird. This chair like fit perfectly, man. I cut this desk myself with a rotary saw and a jigsaw. I mean, and like everything fit. We measured it out. This baby was ready for war, and it's like here lately. Okay, so the last time we played, things had gone to hell. Heard enough voices in my head. It's already too crowded. Now we're getting background music. Dead or alive. Okay, so that's probably not going to work out too well. We had to restart the mission totally. Yeah, we have massive bounties. So you can stream Red Dead too. Jeremiah, what do you mean? You mean like that it's not politically correct, this game? I want food. Yo, damn it, what? Damn, Water. You've been really, really generous lately, my man. You've been super generous lately, my dude. Damn it, Water, you funded the war against the pink 200 bits. Thank you very much for that, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This game can be quite finicky. I like it, and I don't like it at the same time. Like, parts of it are extremely addicting and completely absorbing and immersive. And other parts, like that he controls from the hip, and like there's a delay when you aim down sight, and when you go back to hip fire, and like, Rikers! I ain't been, so far I've not been too bothered by the like minutia, but there's a hell of a lot of horse riding. But, I'm just really getting started, so I'm only 10 hours into it. Rikers is a really, really great guy. He's one of my favorite people. He's really hardworking, he's really talented. He's worked in the video game industry, the adult film industry, and he can tell a good story. He's a great broadcaster, so check him out. I want to see some Red Dead 2, stream it. So can you stream Red Dead? I mean, I'm playing Red Dead. I gotta talk to you guys, don't I? Shit, if I was just gonna play it, then we can just turn the old stream off and I'll just play. It's clunky, like really clunky. I don't disagree with you something, but it's like they did it on purpose, you know? It's not like for lack of polish, because the game is super polished. Like, yeah, there's some bugs, but considering how... Look, no matter what, this is the one thing I've felt strongly about, is that this... It might be clunky, it might have some minutia, but this is the best open world. I'm not saying game, just best open world ever. This is the bar. The bar has been set. So, Ubisoft, Bethesda, this is what you're shooting for, because this world, it's not just fluff. There's no, like, unused details. There's no... Everything is, like, interactable. Everything is alive. Everything follows an ecosystem. It's pretty absurd. It's pretty absurd. They didn't let anything go to waste, but I also think that they should have gamified it just a little harder. Like, you can take 15 shots and not die. And that's what it needs to be. And maybe you shouldn't have to, like, time the gallop of your horse perfectly. Maybe you shouldn't have to... It constantly walks a thin line between either just wanting to be a story-based game, like a Telltale game, and sometimes the shooting even feels like a quick-time event. But it's like constantly balancing that edge between going full video game and just simply wanting you to play the story strictly. And it goes so hard into like wanting you to just play the story to the point where you kind of wonder like maybe they should have just made a movie. There's gonna be bounty hunters up ahead. It's been really hard to do anything because of the stupid wanted system. There's a mission we did where we had to bust out of jail, and we ended up killing half the town, and we have a massive bounty on us, and we can't do anything since then. But so like this mission we're coming up to with Javier, it won't let you break off the rails at all. You've got to follow this very specific path and go up the mountain in a very specific way, which is weird for an open world game, because even like State of Decay 2, the developers talk about on their stream how hard it is to make open world games, because when you write the missions, you have to like incorporate the idea that the player has like 80 different solutions to a mission, and it's really hard because you have to account for that, and there's inevitably something you're not going to account for. And I've noticed it multiple times in this game that Like, there was a dude in the woods, and the dude in the woods wanted to ride to Strawberry. Well, instead of, like, putting him on the back of the horse and just riding him into Strawberry, I decided to lasso him, and then carry him into Strawberry. The mission still got done, but because I had said I wasn't going to give him a direct ride to Strawberry, the game didn't count that. Then I had even more money on my head, and it's kind of weird that they polished this game so much, but even State of Decay 2 with its copious bugs at launch, like, did a better job of making the game not break its immersion by allowing the player to still accomplish a mission so long as the objective gets done. It doesn't matter how the objective gets done so long as it gets done. And Red Dead seems super uncomfortable with you doing that. It wants you to interact with this story in a very particular way, it seems like. I'm fucking with you. Well, I'm fucking with you then, Jeremiah. Jeremiah's also a really great guy. He's super smart. He plays a wide variety of games. He's a big CD Projekt Red guy. He's pumped up for Cyberpunk. So CD Projekt Red, we read an article yesterday, Jeremiah, that CD Projekt Red has got 3 other games. They got a team, 40-man team, 40-person team dedicated just to Gwent. They've got a team dedicated to Cyberpunk. They've got a team dedicated to 2 as of yet unannounced AAA games. I'm assuming one of them's The Witcher. But who knows what the other one is? Oh, no. I know what the other one is. It's, How many? The one that's untitled, I assume, is Witcher 4. But the other one is dedicated to the sequel for Cyberpunk. They've already got, like, 2 sequels in the works. Damn it. It's like Avatar. Where's Trelawney? Actual is top-notch. The problem I find is zero fun in it.
Where's that little Irish pest? I'm not quite sure.
RP like some people do.
Has anyone been in the Blackwater, see how things lie?
Place is crawling with Pinkertons, bounty hunters, pictures of Dutch and Hosea.
Well, we got a lot of money sitting in that town.
And that's where it's gonna remain for now.
Why haven't they hanged Sean?
Well, I don't like the online. It's far too clunky to be like a pure action shooter game for sure. Something I agree with you there. I know that you and Tacky weren't into this game, but I've been pretty surprised that I was pretty naturally like. I figured I would kind of agree with you guys, but I've been surprised that I pretty much instantly kind of liked it. I was glad for that. It grabbed me, and I wanted to play more. And it's definitely not a bad game.
Nearby before handing him over to the government.
But I don't know that it's the masterpiece that a lot of people make it out to be. It's pretty
we need to stop them before they
impressive.
Get to
There's a lot of things to be impressed with.
Why don't you head up on the north side?
Like,
and we'll head up on the other
those
side
graphics, man.
Meet you. That way we have them in either direction.
Thanks for being here, Wreckers. Thanks again, Walter, for the bits, man. Much appreciated, dude. Okay, so last time we played, I failed the shit out of this mission.
People whom the government like seem to be very angry. Sure, well, we'll rescue
Sean!
We'll get ourselves lost, good and proper. It's a big country.
And it had 0 faults. Alright, that is obnoxious, but you know how that is, man. That's just the modern games media. It's like, we can go on a long rant on this conversation, but Division 2's been an example that everyone hailed that game as the greatest looter shooter ever made, and yet you never hear anything about it once the initial hype is gone. People still lay it on heavy on Anthem and shit on that game because it's popular, but you never hear any criticism about Division 2, but yet people aren't really playing it or talking about it. And the hype has completely died around it, and apparently it had glaring issues at launch, but everyone just ignored it because a couple initial reviews said it was great, and so everyone went with that direction. Sadly, it's just the way media works, I think. Something. Like, we also put a video in yesterday that was about... What the hell? I'm in cinematic mode. About Boogie and stuff, and people in the comment section were absolutely vicious. Were vicious. And a lot of it was an attack on him, and then it suddenly became basically just an attack on streamers like you and me, and content creators in general as e-beggars and shitlords and just terrible people, completely ignoring like the charity work that streamers do, the one-on-one individual attention streamers give, the mental health awareness that streamers have brought to the forefront and YouTubers. It was just an attack. And I was really down about it. I was really down about it because I didn't see in the video this guy never asks for money or anything or starts a GoFundMe. And I was like, God, people hate us. They hate us now. Then I realized something that they're like, oh, Boogie doesn't have any integrity. Doesn't have any integrity. Well, it happens to be exceedingly rare, so he's not alone. I don't even have integrity. I try to, but it's so hard to have. You know, that's being who you say you are, and
apparently there's a camp somewhere around here where the bounty
you both
meet.
are what you say you are and say who you are. I had a really good way of putting it yesterday. I thought about it. It's just about honesty. Honesty and courage in combination is integrity there. I'll just say that. And so, okay, he doesn't have it. Well, not a lot of people do. A lot of people say they do. A lot of people claim to want to have it, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, I stopped getting upset about it because I realized this is just going to generate buzz. It just plays right into anybody's wheelhouse. They're all bitching and grumbling about it, but that means they're creating traction, and they'll be over it in 48 hours, so they can sit there and shit on us all they want. If that's how this whole business works, it's about eyeballs, so if it's good or it's bad, it doesn't even matter. We live in a really strange time, and I know that seemed a little off the whole, like, video game criticism thing, but I just mean it in the terms of, like, the same thing happens with games. If a few big-time names decide to say, oh yeah, it's the game of the century, like they did with Red Dead Redemption 2, because everybody got on the bandwagon with this one, then that's it. People just jump on whatever's the popular opinion. There's very little dissenting opinion because you don't want to face the ire of the internet or the witch hunt or whatever.
Built some reputation in the last year.
Battleborn, one of our favorite games, something was the victim of that.
Certainly kicking up enough of a fuss. Yep, that's definitely shown.
Then the same place is shat all over Assassin's Creed Origins, which is, in my opinion, a superior game.
The shit he's been giving them.
Oh, yes.
I hear a lot of good things about Assassin's Creed Origins. What were people's complaints to begin with? It started with you, but since that moment, like, I'm not controlling this right now. It's just like,
Charles on the other side.
Charles.
Let's go.
What about the other two?
That's why I'm like having this conversation with you guys, because a lot of the time this game just takes control. It just wants to tell you the story, and those are the parts of the game when I feel like you could have just probably made a movie. You have the money. If you just strictly wanted to tell a story, I don't think games are the best medium for that. They're a good medium for storytelling, but not when it's strictly about the story. Negative media gets more attention. Well, it does. That's why Anthem maybe isn't dead. You might think like, okay, it's dead, and it sure seems in a bad spot, because it is. But to me, the reason it's still, like, got a sliver of a chance is because people still like to shit on it. So those videos means those videos still get eyeballs. And there's almost no real substance to it. Like, in that thread that was about Boogie, they claimed he was everything. They claimed he was, like, pro-suicide. He was anti-dog. He was anti-blue, anti-purple, pro-this, anti-that. Just everything and anything. And it's like... This is a guy that barely moves. Do you think he's really got the time and the energy to... It was just weird. It was just really weird.
Calm down, mister.
Damn it, Arthur! Come on, let's get up there.
How did you get shot? Okay, you just went down. Okay, now the game music picks up, and this is when it... Oh no, I don't want to do that. Who are you, by the way? But no one kicks a dead dog. There's a great chapter in that in Dale Carnegie's How to Stop Worrying and How to Start Living about this guy who gets to become dean of a university before, he's a lot younger than everyone else at the school, all the professors and stuff, and they all hate him. And they ask his dad how he feels about all the criticism, and his dad says no one kicks a dead dog. That didn't work out, did it?
We're gonna have to shoot our way up there. Come on, let's
Yeah, it is clunky though. Anyway. I know I'm kind of talking to myself, but I had to do it in order to convince myself that it's still worth being a streamer in 2019 when people can talk that much shit about you. What I'm thinking is I like to have full reign of my area. I can go where I want, explore what I want, talk to who I want. The only changes I see that I see are what I do. Like, when I see I stab a guy, get bounties for it, that's my decision. The wrong way a bunch. I'm assuming it breaks off the rails a little bit later on. Like that little thing where you have to press right trigger twice in order to actually get the bullet out is so weird. It definitely tries to be more of like a role-playing game, but it's just different. It's very different. It plays a lot of homage to... I played Red Dead on the original Xbox. So I played what is technically the first game in the franchise, you know? And it was like very structured. Because it was just more like a you know, quick draw shoot 'em up kind of game. It's kind of loud, isn't it? Like I'm having to talk over it. I really like the music, but... So, a bit like Doom in 2016, where Doom played a lot of homage to its predecessors and its origins. This game can feel a little bit like that, but it's strange because it's forced into the mold of the first, like, proper Red Dead Redemption on the 360. And that one was, like, totally an open world game. I never felt limited in that one. Like, I always felt like it was more like GTA, you know, you just kind of walk into a mission and then you find that there's like lots and lots of different ways you can go about completing a mission. It was a lot more off the rails. The first Red Dead something was a lot more open actually, which is strange, but it's true. I still don't dislike this game though, honestly. Like to me you can't say this is a bad game. A bad game is a totally different thing. And I haven't played it enough to make a real judgment. But it's different than what I expected. That's the one thing I can say. And I do think that even though it's stricter, the actual like world itself is really remarkable. I think that this is now the gold standard because the fact that the fucking deer and are hunted by the foxes and the deer eat the grass and there's bugs and plants and flora and just the whole thing, it's crazy. And it's all interactable, it's all like, you know, as close to living as digital can get. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, Red Dead Revolver, that's right. I can't climb up here? Yeah, well I played Red Dead Revolver. But I mean, again, it was limited by the technology too, Rikers, so... I had some shitlord come in here and complain that I was using aim assists. And guess what? I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to enjoy this game. I'm not trying to be fucking OG MLG at a game that's trying to be big country. Like this just stiff as fuck, man. You play Gears of War. No third-person shooter is as smooth as Gears of War. It's amazing how like beyond everyone else that game still is in terms of pure gameplay. It's the Division. That's the thing that bothers me about the Division is it's just too fucking stiff. And the PvP is really where it gets bad. It's like I'm so used to moving smoothly around the map and ducking and diving around corners. The animations are so damn good in this, though. I can sit here and bitch, but the animations and just the thing is so alive that it's hard to bitch. Dude, that was straight up There will be blood, execution style Rikers. I'm okay with the start forcing you to do things so you can learn. That's not my gripe, but post-tutorial and getting into the meat of the game, being like that. Have you beat this game yet? Something? How deep did you get into it? I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's a huge portion I find unfun and really annoying, but the game for the purpose they paint is well done. And less forced role-playing. Less forced role-playing. Forced role-playing is a good term for it. Again, I'm still really early in it, so I'm not saying any, like, personally, I can't give any, like, hard opinions. There's a lot more game to dig into here. And I could definitely see that as, especially in the context of Red Dead 1, it has that vibe to it of but you said something, forced role-playing. I'm on the last epilogue. There's multiple epilogues. Jesus.
Cool me down. Come on.
Like this stuff, I don't know. Like that you always have to hitch your horse. It's not quite as bad as what Tacky made it seem when he was on Battleborn Day, when he was like telling me you had to take a bath and wash your horse and like wash your feet and like you hardly have to mess with that stuff really.
Come on.
But it.
Get a hug, Arthur. A warm embrace for a lost brother now found.
Hold on, we'll listen to this.
You know, nothing means more to me than this gang. The bond we share. It's the most real thing to me. I would kill for it, I would happily die for it. But in spite of all of that, I would have easily left you here to rot Charles and stop me.
I don't believe a word of that, Arthur.
Get him out of here.
You're a great man, Arthur Morgan. The kind of young whippersnapper can really admire.
Oh, shut up. Right, we should split up. Javier, will you escort Mr. McGuire back to camp? Charles, best you ride separately. Be careful. There's patrols everywhere.
What about you?
I'm gonna see what's worth taking here. I'll meet you back there as soon as I can.
All right.
Yeah, like
Hey, come on.
I don't think there was a way to avoid having a massive bounty at this point in the game, and that part of it is a bit annoying.
Fear not.
But at the same time,
they.
I think there's just too many players who never finish Grand Theft Auto, and they would do like tons and tons and tons of work to the story. So I can see the developer trying to force the player more into the story so that they can enjoy what all was done. That was like a big thing that people talked about last year or something like that. Like the developers, you know, when they were talking about like empty end games, and the conversation was, where do you want to put your time and your money? Do you want to put your time and your money, your developers, onto the stuff that you know players are going to interact with and see? Or you want to put all your time and money and resources into the stuff that maybe 5% of the players or less are going to see? And if you got the vast majority of your team working on crafting this story, and then like GTA, I always get lost in those games and never complete the stories. Vice City was the last one I completed. Dude, is he fucking Count Dracula? Look how stiff that is. That was been starched. Yeah, unnecessary making multiple epilogues. Plenty of hours to have a real feeling on it. He didn't get this far. It makes a big deal at the start, and you assumed it was a big deal. I see. Well, I'm not complaining about his opinion. I just took his opinion at, like, face value. And I figured, okay, we're going to get into a game that wants you to do a lot of micromanagement. To be fair, there's micromanagement, and that, to me, is the most awkward phase of the game. Not the shaving and the bathing and stuff, but the,
You almost killed me.
It's always striking a balance, and I don't think they necessarily got it right, of like gamified elements like you can get shot multiple times and more role-playing elements, and sometimes those more role-playing elements just get in the way. Like I think it was last time we streamed Red Dead when okay, here we are. So again, instead of playing the game, we're now going to go into fucking cinematic mode and just ride till we can't ride no more. We hitched our horse, and the horse beside the horse that we hitched next to happened to kick a guy, and so then we couldn't complete our mission, and then that meant we also had a bounty, and so we spent the next like hour and a half fighting away bounties instead of ever getting to complete a mission, and we could never go back into the mission area because that guy had been kicked by a horse. And that's when it's like almost Morrowind-esque, when little shit like that shouldn't get in the way of the player's experience. You got to give them some wiggle room to fuck up, you know?
You better stay back. This here's...
Oh my god, now we gotta wrangle the fucking horse. I love the music, though. They nailed that whole Enrique Monroco thing. What the fuck? Like, you gotta hold the damn left trigger. Like, just that little stuff that's weird. It makes sense to a point, but they've got a bunch of button commands to try to keep you engaged with it that I'd rather weren't there. I just want, once the horse is wrangled, I just want it to be wrangled.
Help me off this goddamn horse. Please. No.
What? He was calm.
Jesus. You're crazy.
No, I didn't even mean to do that. What? The horse is still alive. I just shot it right behind the ears. Oh my god. And so, okay, so now she's gonna be done. Lady, you're... Here, tell you what. We did our best. We shot a horse.
What is wrong with you all?
Right, it's the little shit like that. Now that's something is where I'm with you, is that stuff gets annoying. Why are you pissed? It's like this, like, the game is not accurately representing what I feel like happened in this event. We saved that woman from someone, like, I don't know, defiling her. Who knows what the hell was going on, but she's scared of us because we shot the horse on accident. That shit is just... That is clunky. That to me is like the definition of being clunky. Oh shit, Rikers, my bad. Oh fuck, Rikers, I'm sorry. I kept thinking I read what you said, and then I keep getting sidetracked, buddy. Rikers says, I actually don't like open world games. Alright, so Rikers doesn't like open world games. First one was kind of on rails at the beginning, then opened. Like, I like semi-open world. Could you give me an example, Rikers? Assets, who cares? Play as you want. People are fucking moronic. Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you there. They can be. They can be. People can be absolute dicks, man. As you've been streaming longer than I have, you know it better than I do. People can just be fucking dicks. I'm scared to return to game streaming because I take my time. I like to explore and see things and go over. So, Records, I'm similar to you in that respect. I really don't binge games, and it's been something that we've been doing a lot recently. Especially like around the time of Destiny 2, I felt like we were binging games. And I've never played them that way. I never rushed to the end. I always liked, I don't know, I just don't give a shit about that. I just want to experience it. We'll get there when we get there. But, you know, here trying to like push the numbers or whatever, push the agenda, it really does ruin a game for me personally. So here's my take on it. Here's the part that I guess kind of matters. Is that I just stopped giving a shit. Like, I'm not gonna rush to level 50 in Borderlands 3. I'm just gonna enjoy myself. I'll get there. I'll probably get there in the second week or something, but I'm not gonna do what I did with Destiny 2 and some other games. Like Anthem, Fallout 76. Fallout 76, I spent most of my time off stream experiencing that game, which was the opposite of what I wanted to do. That was perfect. Nice. Because I was just hanging out in my house hunting deer all day. Like, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't really want to go through and absolutely force the main story. I like to get lost in the woods. And, you know, for streaming purposes, usually that's not ideal, as you know. I don't need to tell you that. But I'm just going to do it from now on. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Because we have to enjoy ourselves on here, or you can't do it anymore. It just all comes to an end. And people already hate you enough, so you might as well try to make the most of it. So, I don't care if I hunt deer for 15 hours. In this case, I am just trying to experience the story. Like, you know, slight agenda, but I'm still going to just play it the way I want to play it. I'm not the best gamer in the West, and we know this, so the pressure's off. It's the kind of stuff that I mean, like when I say it's clunky.